You ever feel like you're just fighting a losing battle with your own bad habits, like every single day? Well, what if I told you the problem isn't you? It's not your motivation, it's your battlefield. So today, we're going to learn how to stop fighting and start designing. How to become the friction architect. All right, let's just get right to it with a big one, okay? This might sting a little, but it's so important. Your willpower is not the problem. I know. We've been told our whole lives that to get ahead, we just need more discipline, right? More grit. Just try harder. But honestly, that's not the whole story. Not even close. I mean, does this look familiar to you? You know the cycle. You wake up, you're fired up, full tank of motivation. You're like, today's the day. I'm gonna be a machine. You feel strong, you feel focused. But as the day grinds on, that feeling just evaporates. And by the time evening rolls around, you're drained, you've made 1,000 tiny decisions, and bam, you're on the couch, scrolling your phone, doing the exact thing you swore you wouldn't do that morning. So why does this happen? What's really going on here? Well, think about your willpower, not as some kind of moral virtue, but like a phone battery. Seriously, you start the day at 100%. But every single decision you make, what to wear, what to eat for lunch, how to word that tricky email, it drains a little bit of that power. It's called decision fatigue, and it's very real. By 6 p.m., that battery is blinking red, running on fumes. And trying to rely on it then? Yeah, that's just a recipe for failure. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to completely bust the willpower myth. Then, we'll get into something called the law of friction. After that, we get practical, building walls against bad habits and greasing the slide for good ones. And finally, we'll put it all together so you can become the architect. All right, section 1, the willpower myth. This is the whole idea that you just need to try harder. But you know what? Relying on willpower alone is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're setting yourself up to lose from the very beginning. You're totally outmatched by your own biology and, more importantly, your environment. So here's the big secret about those people who seem to have it all together. They're not superhuman, okay? They don't have some secret reserve of self-control. They just don't use it. They don't waste their days fighting these epic battles against temptation. No, they don't fight the urge. They remove the urge. They literally engineer their environment so that self-control becomes irrelevant. Okay, so how on earth do they do that? Well, they understand this one fundamental core principle of our psychology. It's called the law of friction. And honestly, it's like the secret code that dictates almost everything we do, whether we realize it or not. And the law itself, it's incredibly simple. Our brains are basically wired to be lazy. But it's not really laziness, it's about being efficient. It's a survival mechanism designed to conserve energy. So, given any two options, your brain will pretty much always choose the path of least resistance, the easier one. That's it. That's the law of friction. And this is where it all clicks into place, right? This is the problem. Most of our environments are perfectly designed for us to fail. Think about it. Bad habits? The phone is right there. The junk food is on the counter. They have basically zero friction. Super easy to do. Meanwhile, good habits, working out, reading a book, those take effort. You got to find your clothes, maybe drive somewhere, carve out the time. They are high friction. And then we sit around wondering, why can't I stick to my goals? Okay, enough theory. Let's get tactical. How do we actually flip this script? Simple. We start by building walls. We are going to strategically and intentionally add friction to our bad habits. We're going to make them harder, maybe even a little annoying to do. Let's start with public enemy number 1, your phone. Look, if it's within arm's reach while you're trying to work, you have already lost the battle. The solution? The phone jail. It's simple. When you need to focus, put your phone in another room. And then, this is key, close the door. Now, just to check one stupid notification, you have to physically get up, walk across the house, open a door, and that little bit of extra friction is often all it takes for your brain to go, never mind, it's not worth it. And this same logic applies to all the visual triggers in your life. Is your video game console plugged in, just begging you to play? Unplug the whole thing. Put the controller in a drawer in another room. Boom, you just added a 2-minute setup cost. Are the cookies sitting out on the counter? Get them out of sight. Put them on a high shelf where you need a stool to reach them. By adding these tiny little speed bumps, you give the logical part of your brain just enough time to catch up and ask, hey, wait a second, do I really want to be doing this right now? Okay, now for the other side of the coin. And this is the really fun part. While we're busy building walls around our bad habits, we're going to start greasing the slide for our good ones. The goal here is to make success the easiest, most obvious, most ridiculously simple choice you can make.
And we can actually borrow a brilliant idea from professional chefs. It's a French term, mise en place, and it literally just means everything in its place. Before a chef even thinks about turning on the stove, they chop all the vegetables, measure all the spices. Everything is prepared and organized. We need to do that for our lives. We need to remove that initial hurdle, that activation energy it takes to just get started on a good habit.
So what does this actually look like? It's super simple. You want to go to the gym in the morning? Don't just think about it. The night before, lay out your gym clothes, your shoes, your water bottle, your headphones. Put them right next to your bed so you practically trip over them when you wake up. Want to read more? Stop leaving the book on the shelf. Put it on your pillow. You'll have to physically move it to go to sleep. Want to drink more water? Put a full glass on your nightstand before you go to bed. The goal is always the same. Make the good habit the path of least resistance.
And this whole idea even extends to your desk. Your workspace sends a powerful signal to your brain. A messy desk, cluttered with old coffee mugs and random papers, that screams chaos. It sends a signal of confusion. But a clean, organized desk? That's not a desk. That's a cockpit. It sends a signal of professionalism, of focus, of control. It tells your brain, loud and clear, okay, it's time to work.
So this all leads us to the final, and honestly, the most important idea of all. This is about more than just little tricks. It's a fundamental shift in your identity. You are not a passive victim of your urges in your environment. You are an active designer. You are the architect of your world.
And don't get it twisted. The person you're going to be in 2, 3, 5 years, that person is being forged right now. Today, they're being built by the environment you're in, the desk you work at, and every little bit of friction you consciously choose to add or remove. These small choices you make today, they compound over time into who you will become.
So when it all comes down to it, you've got a choice. It's really that simple. Are you going to be a victim, or are you going to be an architect? You can keep blaming willpower, feeling guilty, and letting your environment dictate your actions. Or you can grab the blueprints, take control, and start designing a life where success is the easy option.
So here's my challenge for you, right now, not later, not tomorrow. As soon as this is over, don't just think about this stuff. Do it. Pick one bad habit, just one, and find a way to make it a little bit harder to do. Then pick one good habit and make it a little bit easier. That's it. Move the phone, put out the running shoes. Greasing the slide for your future self starts right now.